Hello. I thought I would check in. I'm wearing my mask, but not because I'm trying to be entertaining, actually. I'm a little tired. I went bike riding all day, and I got a little bit of a sunburn, and I don't feel like dressing up. This video really pertains to a testimony, a blessing testimony that I had today. Thought I would share that with you. 2 days ago, I asked the Lord for something. And I kind of want to dispel that. Yes, I know that God's not Santa Claus, okay? But He does answer prayers of the righteous. And I happen to be one of those people. I don't care what anybody thinks or says. I know in my heart what's true. Well, anyway, I asked a couple days ago, I said, Lord, I said I would like to find some money, because I've been pretty good at finding money. And I said, I haven't found anything lately, Lord. And I said, I'd really like to find some money. I'd like to find some sinners' money. And I'd like it to be $20, because I had heard and read somewhere that it's okay to be specific with God. To put your requests specific. You can be specific. And I thought, okay, I'm going to be specific. Because the first time I asked the Lord if I could find some sinners' money, I did find a lottery ticket in front of a grocery store that was good. And it was for $10, I believe. And so that was an answered prayer. Well, 2 days ago I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, I'd like to find sinners' money, $20, please. And of course, there might be some people who will think that's wrong of me to. I don't care what you think. I know what kind of relationship I have with my Lord, and I know that He says I can make my requests to Him. That's what the Bible says. I don't care what y'all think. I don't care about your doctrine, whatever. I just know that my God hears my prayers and He answers my prayers. So it don't matter to me what y'all think or don't think about it. So anyway, here goes my testimony. Today, I was riding my bike with a friend of mine, and I was going to have these famous tacos that I had heard about. That's why I went there. So anyway, I looked up and I saw, I was on a campus, a college campus. And if you get this message, well, then so be it, it was meant to be. But anyway, I looked up and I seen someone fiddling with their money. And they were kind of a distance from me, really, quite a distance from me. And there were several people sitting around the area, And I looked up and I saw the person drop money. Well, I thought maybe that they dropped money. I wasn't really sure. It just seemed like I saw something fall. And I thought to myself, I said, I think that person dropped some money. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, he walked past me, and I slowly went up there and looked down, and sure enough, there was a $20 bill laying there. And my first thoughts were, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to return this money to the gentleman who dropped it, because I believe in honesty, purity, as far as being honest about, returning money that doesn't belong to me. And I said, I had no problems or no qualms about what I was going to do with the money. I was going to swoop it up. And I thought several people saw me do it. So I thought, well, they saw him drop the money. They're going to see me pick the money up too. But my very first thought was, no, I just want to do what's right. I want to give the person back their money. That was my heart's desire. As God is my witness, that was what my game plan was to give him back his money. I had no intentions of keeping the money, not even a first inkling of keeping the money, because I thought if I dropped a $20 bill, I'd certainly want somebody to do it for me. So anyway, I swooped the 20 up, I had it in my hand, I turned around fast to look for the person, couldn't find him. everybody started mingling, and I couldn't remember what the guy looked like because, to be honest, I have short-term memory problems now. And I thought, why didn't I make a note of what he looked like, so that I could go right up to him and say, hey, you dropped this $20 bill. And I couldn't figure out which one he was. There were several there, and all of a sudden it dawned on me I didn't know which one it was that dropped it. And I was kind of upset because I thought I should have made a better note of him when he dropped it, but I was focused on thinking that he had dropped it and not paying attention to him exactly. So anyway, I stood there with that 20 in my hand, looking around. I thought everybody'd seen me too. I thought maybe somebody would help me. Say, oh, I know who dropped it or something. Nobody said a word to me. So I said, well, I can't just go up to anybody and say, did you drop $20? I wanted to make sure it was the right one. So I did give up. I didn't see the guy anywhere, and I was frustrated, but I did give up. And I did keep the money, and it wasn't but a few minutes later after I did that, it was like God spoke to me and he said, don't you remember you asked me for $20 from a sinner? I'm like, oh my gosh, I did. I remembered. And I told my friend, I said, you're not going to believe this, but I do remember specifically 2 days ago on our bike ride asking God to let me find some money of a sinner and let it be $20. So my friend goes, well, he must have been a sinner, huh? Well, maybe he was, But anyway, as God is my witness, from my heart to his, he knows my very first intentions was not to keep the money. I have seen people drop money before, and I've always given it back to them. Always. I don't, I don't do that. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. I would want somebody to do it for me, and I've had people do it for me. And it excites me that I can find money from somebody who dropped it to give it to them, because I know it makes them feel good, and that's more important to me than $20. And I would feel guilty if I kept the money and didn't try to give it back to the person who it belonged to. That just is me. I'm sorry, but I have a conscience now. So anyway, my testimony is, better be careful what you pray for. You just might get it. Because I felt like God gave me that $20 because he knew I tried with my open heart to give that back to the person who it belonged to, but I couldn't figure out who it was. And I was pretty frustrated because I thought, gosh, I can't remember which guy it was now. And you can't just go up to somebody and go, oh, did you drop $20 on a campus, college campus? They're bound to say, oh yeah, I need the money, and say, yeah, I dropped it. So if you do hear this video and you can remember what it was that we were standing in front of when you dropped it, the money could be yours, possibly. I'm not sure. Just kind of depends on how well you place the scenario of whether you drop the money or not, But it was kind of funny how God spoke to me in the midst of that. I didn't even think about God. I was busy looking around and enjoying the day, and then all of a sudden he said, don't you remember you prayed for $20 from a sinner? I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember. Don't tell me God doesn't answer prayers, and don't tell me he doesn't want you to be specific. I won't believe you. You can be specific with God. It's okay to be specific. When your children ask parents for Christmas presents, do they go, oh, let's say vaguely, do they go, oh, I want this for Christmas, oh, I don't know, whatever you want to get me, Or do they have a specific gift in mind that they mention to you, that they've seen on TV that they want? PlayStation, whatever. Are they not specific? Your children are specific with you, aren't they? So, God is my Father, I am his child. I am going to be specific with God. And anyone who wants to bump me on that, you must well go on down the line, because that's not the God I serve. The God I serve wants me to be specific. He's okay with that, He's okay with that. He doesn't want me to be vague, Okay, you want to find some money? Well, okay, I was finding dimes and nickels. I was finding those and quarters. And I thought, gosh, Lord, I haven't found anything really big lately. And I'm always good at finding, 10s or 20s. I've always been pretty good at finding those on the street. If I'd be walking down the street, I'd find money and stuff like that. So I thought, I haven't found anything lately, Lord. I'd really like to find a 20 and let it be a sinner's money. I always kind of like to be specific because I don't want it to be somebody's money that, I wouldn't want to take a little girl's money, or I want it to be a sinner's money, and I found when I asked that prayer before, I got a winning lottery ticket. Excuse me, sinner's money. I don't care what you say about that either. I don't care if that offends you. I don't care. Okay? Playing the lottery is evil. You'd get better results with God. Put your money with God, because He has a much better return, tenfold. Matter of fact, it's worked for me. I'm just giving you a testimony, and you don't have to buy it. You can be mad if you want. I don't care. It ain't going to change my attitude towards God. But I just wanted to share that today because it excites me when God answers a prayer that I think, well, how minute is that? And will He even mess with that? And is that praying out of line with His will? Because we always think His will is so ooh, spooky important. It doesn't always have to be that way. Your children are not spooky when they ask you for things, and you're their parents, and they're not spooky. They don't expect you to do spooky things for them all the time. Simple things they desire and ask for. And God is my Father, and I'm His child. It says, if you don't enter the kingdom of heaven unless you go as a little child. Well, He's got one right here. I'm as little as they come. I'm pretty childlike. I kind of look at God as He's my daddy. So I don't care what y'all think. I don't care. I don't care if you think I'm crazy, whacked out. So what? It's not going to change my life any. It's not going to change my victory and my prayers. So, if anything, I just hope maybe you get encouraged if you are discouraged and think nobody cares. My God cares. And He has done this for me countless times, answering my prayer. And I just wept today in my bathtub. I wept because I thought, you are there, and you do care, and you do hear the prayers of the righteous. And I just get excited about that. What can I say? You don't want to sub me? I don't care, because that's the way I feel about things. I believe in my God, and He supplies my needs according to His riches and glory, and I am a child of God, and He answers my prayers. I've had so many answered, it makes my head spin. So it don't matter what y'all think or say, doctrine-wise. I go into my belief as a little child. I believe. And that's all God asks us to do, is to believe. We complicate the the Bible. We complicate it. When all He wants us to do is believe. And I know that doesn't mean you don't do anything. Okay, I get that. But believing is such a big part of pleasing God. He really wants us to believe. So many people say they're believers, but they don't believe. Really believe. So that's my $20 story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm $20 richer, and I believe that my Lord supplied that. And but on the second note, I would have so returned that 20 with all my heart. God knows my heart, and I would have returned that 20 if I would have. I probably should have said something, but I was so far away from him, to yell, "Hey, you dropped something," because I wasn't sure if he dropped something. I didn't want to feel like an idiot, "Hey, buddy." He probably looked at me like, "What the heck's wrong with you?" I didn't drop anything. This lady's crazy or something, because I'm on a college campus, and here I am, my age, and they're probably thinking, some old lady messing with me or something. So I just kind of wanted to make sure before I gave it back to him, so I didn't look like a complete idiot.